Yo, what's going on, my bariatric family? This your boy Jay, and I'm coming at you with the first episode of Bariatric Uncut, where it's going to be some real uncut interviews dealing with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of bariatric surgeries. We're going to be talking with people such as myself who actually had the surgery. We're going to be discussing our journeys, and some of us is going to have a success story, and some of us going to have a cautionary tale. So I mean, what better way to go ahead and start it out than talk about myself. First off, I said my name is Jay. I do security work. My high weight was 415 pounds. My surgery weight was 385. My current weight is 265, and my goal weight is 220. Now, I was always a big boy, but I was active. Morbid obesity really didn't become a problem for me until I had reached my 20s. And I had joined the weight loss center. I was around 320 pounds. And when I joined the weight loss center, I did good. I had lost 90 pounds. I went from 320 pounds down to 230. And as you know, life happened. I started stress eating, and then I was just eating. And you know, they say don't pick that weight back up because you'll gain it back double. And boy, did it come back because I went from 230 up to 390. Uh, I was able to pick that weight back up double in half the time, but I was still active. I was in my mid 30s. I was still able to hit a cartwheel. I was still able to do a backflip. I was able to run fast. Now, I wasn't Usain Bolt, but I was pretty fast for a guy my size. And like when I had to take self-defense classes, I was able to roll on the ground. I was fluid with my techniques. Now it was certain angles where my size did become an issue and it hindered me, but I was still agile. And the issues had started kicking in later on. I started getting sleep apnea. I had high blood pressure. I was a pre-diabetic. I started getting heart issues, and I had acid reflux. And it wasn't until I went to my cardiologist that I was talking about my issues with weight loss. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna lose weight. Trying everything, and it wasn't working. And the nurse practitioner had suggested that I get the gastric sleeve, and I didn't think about it until then. I had never gave it a consideration, but after she talked about it, and a couple of the other ladies in the doctor's office had suggested it, that's when I started, looking it up and doing my research. But it was while I was doing my research, I figured out the bypass was going to be the best option for me because I had acid reflux. And so when I got prepared to go through the process, it was back in 2021. Everything was going good, but the day before, my insurance had denied it, but they ended up paying for it later on, around in 2023. And that, my friends, that's a story for another day. That's a topic that I would like to touch on. Talking about the insurance when it comes to weight loss surgery. So, fast forward to 2023, I had the surgery. I didn't have any issues. The only problem that I was having was because I was so big, and with the high blood pressure, I was a hard stick. It was hard for them to find an IV, which I don't have that issue no more. And I have to say, I'm one of the lucky ones who's had a pretty good journey so far. And one of the reasons being because it's mind over matter. I was following this doctor on YouTube named Dr. Wong, and he said something that resonated with me. He said that when you getting prepared to have the surgery, you got to get in that mind frame before you have the surgery. So when you come from under that knife, your mental capacity won't be as stressed out, because that's where a lot of people end up failing it. They try to get in their mind frame after they have that surgery, and with some of them, they relationship and obsession with food still don't change. But I have to say, mine's did, and uh, my relationship with food really not the same no more. I switched to the vegan diet. I've been I've been vegan for about 2 months now because I played around with it even when I was at my biggest, when I was around 400 pounds. I messed with it off and on. But now since I done had the surgery, I really can't digest meat. Like talking about, say, like the chicken breast, but really any type of chicken. Um, Beef is a little easier, but I just wanted to go ahead and I seen it as an opportunity to just go ahead and switch over, to an alternate lifestyle, of veganism and clean eating. And I'm glad I did it. Now, I did have a little touch of anxiety in the beginning. It only lasted for about a minute because when I was at my biggest, I used to have this habit, like once a month or once every other month, I would go out to either Pizza Hut or Little Caesars, and I would always get two mediums. One would be a meat level, and the other one would be just something random. It might be a cheese and pepperoni, or a four cheese pizza, or a vegetable pizza. I would get that, and I would get the cheesy bread, the boneless chicken wings, and a large belly wash cherry Pepsi. And after I came out of the surgery, it was like a week, 1 or 2 weeks later, I had wanted that pizza, and I was kind of struggling with it for about. I flipped out for about 1 or 2 minutes, but after that, I was fine, and I've been fine ever since. Um, I had a couple of stalls. The first stall I had was back in September. I had stalled at 305. I mean, I had went for like a month and a half, doing everything I was supposed to do. But man, that scale wasn't moving, and then all of a sudden it just dropped. My weight had just went from 305 to 298 because even when I was stalling, I was still doing what I was supposed to do. I was jogging, I was watching what I eat. Uh, I was still following the rules. I didn't let it discourage me, and I didn't fall off. And thank goodness I didn't. And this last month, I ended up getting a second stall. I had stalled at 270, but this time I really wasn't tripping about it. So that's why I say sometimes a stall it could be a pros and the cons to it because this last go around, I wasn't able to get out and exercise. Couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't run around the block like I want to because of the weather. The weather being so bad. And I ain't gonna lie, I was eating what I was supposed to eat, but a couple of times I did deviate a little bit, just eating what I could at the moment. But even with all that, I still stayed at 270, you know, not being able to exercise and not being able to do what I really wanted to do, and it stayed at 270. So I didn't pick no weight up. So, I was thankful for that. So that's when having a stall really came in handy. And then this go around, my stall just broke last week because now I'm down to 265. So, it's back moving. And so you know, that this part of my story, I mean, as we go along and start having interviews with other people that's gonna be coming on the platform and telling their story, I'll be telling more of my story. And so as we go along, because right now I'm just kind of giving you the bits and pieces of it, and it is some stuff that I really want to touch on in its entirety. But yeah, but this is the beginning called Bariatric Uncut, where it's going to be uncut interviews, because we need to hear the good stories and the not so good stories, because a lot of people they having a good experience and some not having no good experience at all. And this is for the people who's thinking about having bariatric surgery, whether it's the gastric bypass, the gastric sleeve, or the duodenal switch or duodenal switch. And we just giving them some real grounded firsthand experience information on what to expect. Since we actually went through having the surgery. Because the doctors and the surgeons, they know what they're talking about. They are experts on the field, but it's more valid coming from someone who's actually been through the experience of having the surgery. But yeah, so hope y'all tune in. I hope the information will be helpful, and I'm looking forward to this series. So hit that like button and tune in. We're going to be in for a ride. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for your time.